Life has a rhythm. The waves of the sea roll in and they roll out. The wind picks up and it dies down. The sun rises and it sets. From season to season, the moon makes its rounds through the sky as our planet cycles through the stages of death and rebirth on its heavenly voyage around the sun. Through it all, we notice that rest is part of this rhythm and essential to perpetuating the unending cycle of life. Without it, we disintegrate into small fragments of stress and weariness. We become numb, dazed, and dull. But with it, we function at our best. Rest regenerates our mind, rejuvenates our spirits, and rebuilds our body. Rest is one of time's most important rhythms on our voyage through life because it renews us daily. We live in a 24-hour-a-day culture. Our days are crammed full with urgent responsibilities and other priorities. Rest? Usually it's kicked to the bottom of the list. Think about it. Expectations of us are different than they were for our grandparents. It used to be that businesses, even grocery stores, closed at 5 o'clock. People spent the evenings with their families. There weren't TVs or computers. Back then, your errands that you didn't get done today were just put off until tomorrow. Today, if you didn't happen to make it to the store to get your kids new shoes, well, the store is open 24 hours. Banking and internet shopping, well, they are always just a few clicks away. It's like we never seem to have time to just stop, be still, and enjoy life, to rest. The true benefits of rest are widely misunderstood and generally unappreciated. The stress and pressures of life can accumulate over time and create a generalized dis-ease with life. Rest is a powerful antidote for the everyday challenges of life. In this Creation Health presentation, we'll discover the essential practices of rest. So let's join Dr. Des Cummings as he reveals simple ways we can start embracing the healing powers of rest to enjoy living our best days starting now.
The only way to live life to the fullest is to understand God's original design and purpose for our lives. According to Genesis, God created life in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. If rest was important in a perfect world, then it's even more important in our imperfect world. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." This means far more than getting 8 hours of sleep or taking your annual vacation. We are going to explore the 3 dimensions of rest: physical, mental, and spiritual. Experiencing each of these elements of rest daily, weekly, and yearly will rejuvenate our mind, our body, and our spirit. Physical rest keeps us functioning at our best. But studies show sleep also promotes a trim waistline and helps you maintain your weight. It protects against high blood pressure and other diseases and also strengthens our memory. We've always known we need to get regular sleep to be healthy, but do we really understand what happens to our bodies when we don't get enough sleep? Sleep is often the part of our day that gets compromised first when we get too busy. We pack our schedules full and then accept whatever is left over at the end of the day for sleep. This lack of adequate sleep affects more than just how tired we are the next day. It compromises the positive effects of exercise and good nutrition. To be healthy, we must sleep well. The restorative and rejuvenating effects of regular sleep keep our mind and body functioning at their best. Did you know that 30% of Americans sleep less than 6 hours each night? When people sleep less than 4 hours a night, various hormonal and metabolic systems begin to malfunction. Chronic sleep loss can hasten and increase the severity of diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity. Studies indicate that women who work the night shift and care for their children in the daytime talk about sleep with the same intensity that hungry people talk about food. And research shows that women who sleep for 5 hours or less a night significantly increase their risk of heart disease. Reduced sleep causes daytime fatigue, reduced neurocognitive or brain function, and depression. Nightly sleep is essential for optimum health because lack of sleep causes various abnormal physiological changes. It seems we always catch colds when we're tired and run down. This is because losing 3 hours of sleep on any given night cuts the effectiveness of our immune system in half. Loss of sleep also decreases our ability to accomplish tasks that are governed by the frontal lobe, the brain's decision center. These include planning, concentration, motor performance, and high-level intellectual skills. Brain scans reveal decreased blood to the frontal lobe in people who are chronically sleep deprived. One particularly troubling study found that people who were sleep deprived for 14 days reported feeling only slightly sleepy. They didn't realize how impaired they were. Their ability to pay attention and to react to stimulus such as driving situations was reduced. It's worth noting that large-scale disasters like Chernobyl, the Exxon Valdez accident, and the 3 Mile Island incident all happened in early pre-dawn hours when workers were likely to be most tired. We all know adults need between 7 and 8 hours of sleep each night to be our healthiest. But too much sleep can be harmful as well. People who sleep less than 6 hours and more than 9 hours a night live on average 9 years less than those who sleep 7 to 8 hours nightly. Think of it as your sleep target. Some surprising research has emerged that addresses how much sleep we get and when we get it. Dr. Timothy H. Monk, one of the world's foremost authorities on sleep, says human beings are built to be daytime creatures. It's hardwired into our circuitry. And when you deliberately try to shift the sleep-wake cycle, it's like having a symphony with 2 conductors, each one beating out a different time. Your delicate internal rhythms go haywire. We need to treat sleep as a precious and powerful key to health. Monk's research shows that early risers are more likely than night owls to stick to healthy routines. They sleep better too. Early risers wake up, eat meals, exercise, and go to bed around the same time each night, whereas night owls are inconsistent. Consistency boosts and reinforces healthy practices. Our bodies are like rhythms, according to Monk. One of the secrets that helps us achieve regenerating sleep is a hormone called melatonin. Normally, melatonin levels are highest during the ideal hours of sleep. They increase rapidly in the late evening, peaking after midnight, and then decrease towards morning. Functions of melatonin include synchronizing our body's circadian rhythms, regulating changes in the mental and physical characteristics that occur in the course of a day, and stimulating our immune system. It's also a potent antioxidant. Foods high in melatonin include bananas, tomatoes, and cucumbers. So, if you like snacking before bedtime, a banana might be a good choice. The release of melatonin naturally increases in the late evening hours. Arranging our bedtime accordingly allows us to reap the natural benefits of how God designed our bodies. Keeping the lights on and staying up late reduces the release of melatonin. Keeping our bedrooms completely dark will encourage deep and restful sleep. Going to bed as early as possible helps with the release of the human growth hormone ghrelin, which peaks during non-REM sleep about an hour after we fall asleep. Non-REM sleep happens in the early hours of the night and diminishes as morning approaches. You've heard people talk about getting their beauty sleep. Well, this growth hormone has a powerful effect on maintaining a youthful appearance. Slow wave sleep is one of the deeper stages of sleep. Almost all restorative sleep happens during the hours before midnight. In other words, if you don't go to bed until early morning, you'll miss out on the best hours for restorative sleep. Our circadian rhythms are hardwired. They contribute to a variety of life-enhancing hormonal releases that restore our bodies and keep us in optimal health. You can start improving your health tonight. Simply get 7 to 8 hours of sleep and make them quality hours by going to bed early and benefit from the restorative and rejuvenating effects of sleep. There's more to rest than the sleep we get at night. In addition to nightly sleep, we also need daily, weekly, and annual restorative mental rest. During the French Revolution, France implemented a 10-day work week. Chaos resulted, and the country's mental institutions quickly overflowed because the people had no rest, physically or mentally. Mental rest is much harder to define and is less understood than physical rest because it is slightly different for each of us. For example, President Harry Truman loved to play the piano. It took him away from the cares of the White House and refreshed his mind. Now for me, playing the piano would definitely add stress to my day. But nothing rejuvenates me more than talking with my grandchildren. My day can be packed with meetings and obligations, but when I pick up the phone and call my grandkids, my cares fade. I begin to smile, they make me laugh, and within minutes, I have a new outlook for the day. They bring me back to my real priorities. But these moments don't happen by accident. We have to plan them. In today's world, multitasking is the norm. We're expected to drive, talk on the phone, and finish the sandwich we didn't have time to eat at lunch, all at the same time. Our minds are cluttered with tasks, appointments, and the stresses of daily life. To be at our best, our minds need to be focused and organized. For instance, if you watch athletic events, the time the coach spends with the team just before the game is critical. There's no multitasking. The team becomes focused. When athletes focus on the coach and their goal, distractions of the crowd disappear and their minds are centered on winning. Athletes call this being in the zone. For us, being in the zone is to be mentally focused on the most important priorities God has for our lives. When we're truly focused, we experience the benefits of mental rest. Mental rest happens in many ways. Whatever it is for you, it should be a complete break from the day's activities. One way to know if you are really relaxing is to experience how fast time flies when you're taking your mental break. It can be as simple as walking outside for a few minutes and breathing fresh air. This improves your sense of well-being. The fresh air also has a tranquilizing and relaxing effect. Just take a break in your normal routine and think about or pursue something you truly enjoy. It can be as short as 10 to 15 minutes. For you, maybe it's reading your favorite book during your lunch hour or playing fetch with your dog after work. Whatever it may be, find your personal mental rest. Spiritual rest. This final and most important element of rest means to be at peace with God. Being at peace with God is to live in the rhythm of life He originated when He created this earth. In the creation story, God designed the world in 6 days and then rested on the 7th day. And it wasn't because His physical needs demanded it. He took time to rest simply because He wanted to enjoy the life He'd created with His children. It was the day for love. To truly enjoy the benefits of spiritual rest, we should all take a guilt-free, no-stress day for love and rest. Imagine what our world would be like if every 7 days we took 1 day just to simply rest. Our world operates on this same 7-day rhythm. We find this cycle in plants, animals, and humans. Medical research has demonstrated 7-day rhythms in connection with a variety of physiological functions. These include heart rate, swelling after surgery, rejection of transplanted organs, inflammatory responses, and the drugs we use to treat them. For instance, a patient will tend to have an increase in swelling on the 7th and the 14th day after surgery. Likewise, a patient who has a kidney transplant is more likely to reject the organ 7 days and 14 days after surgery. This 7-day rhythm suggests we should honor weekly rhythms if we want to take care of our health. And if we want to live life to the fullest, we should energize our lives with physical, mental, and spiritual rest. So here are 5 simple tips for getting your best rest. Get to bed early. Take brief mental breaks throughout your day. Focus your thoughts on God. Maintain a regular sleep schedule. And take a day each week to simply rest. Start today by implementing one or more of these practices. Begin enjoying your life not sometime in the future, but right now when it matters most. For when you do this, you are ready to enjoy the rest of your life.
So now you've seen the incredible benefits of rest's restorative rhythms. We've also seen how rest is a powerful antidote for coping with the challenges of life. But most of all, we've discovered rest's greatest, best-kept secret, that God rested to enjoy. This is why we rest. We rest in order to enjoy. It's that simple. The wisest man who ever lived, King Solomon, said, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." God had a purpose when He gave us the wonderful gift of rest. You see, rest refreshes our mind, rejuvenates our spirit, and rebuilds our body. It creates the opportunity for us to savor life. Life isn't about how much we can get done in a certain amount of time, but about how much of life we are able to enjoy and appreciate during our journey. Accept life's invitation today to enter into restorative rest, so that every moment of your life becomes a celebration that you'll savor and carry in your heart forever. That's creation health.